parking lot, meaning that cars are not too old, they are in good shape, it may mean that you are dealing with the right pool of people. The company pay decent money and people take care of their cars and themselves. When you come for an interview itself, in New Jersey, you don't need to leave your car. People at the pump would take your credit or debit card or cash, and they would fill up your tank. I come outside sometimes just to take a look, stretch my legs. So going back to interviews. So when you came for an interview, you looked at the building, you looked at the parking lot, and you look at the people. Obviously, it's pretty hard, almost impossible to figure out something based on interview, unless you have interview for high level or more or less high level opening, where people may have 3, 4, 5 interviews during several months period. If you lucky enough, you would be shown around the department, and if so, open your eyes and see whether you would be able to figure out what you are dealing with. You don't want to see, that's my personal experience, my personal opinion, you don't want to see people which are too young or too what's called seasoned, old, right? For example, I came to one company and everything looked nice. I liked the boss, the owner. Interview was great. I was offered this position, and I liked what I saw. When I started working, my first experience was kind of interesting. We had a meeting, and during this meeting, the first 15 seconds I was presented to the department. One of the bosses said, well, please welcome such and such. And to my surprise, one of the employees, we didn't know each other, we just met. He looked at me and he said, did you bring us donuts? Donuts, if you don't know, it's a sweet, basically sweet bread, which normally people eat with coffee. And manager looked at him and said, don't worry, it's just a joke. Okay, it's obviously a joke. I was a little bit surprised that it was kind of, again, without us knowing each other, but okay. I was a little bit more puzzled when every time at the time of lunchtime, this employee would ask where someone went to buy food. And he was working for this company for several years, so he knew the area. He was aware of cafes around, McDonald's and so on and so forth. I don't know what was the reason. Person was making pretty decent money for his position, but his approach was a little bit strange. And whole company was small, but whole company was young people, which is great. You have young people with what's called drive. They would like to make money, they would like to educate themselves, they would like to become professionals, they would like to learn about the industry, about processes. In this case, it was exactly the opposite. People were young, but they had zero drive. Zero, literally. They come to work, they stay there 8 hours, and they leave. In this situation, and I left that place not long after I was hired, it was kind of mutual decision. I was not that excited about this company, this position, and company was not excited about my performance, which is obviously makes sense. Try to find a company or department within the company where you would have people with experience along with young people, but they need to be interested in what they are doing. Again, to me it was surprising that it's even possible that whole team would be such a quiet, how should I put it, quiet, muddy bay, Another thing, another company, and example would be exactly the opposite. Not exactly the opposite, exactly the opposite age-wise. People were seasoned, meaning they were with this company for probably 20-30 years, but the problem was they were very, very afraid to lose their jobs. And when you with the company for 20 or 30 years, you would know everything about